Hello, and welcome to the second episode of Romance Over Coffee, the podcast where we talk about popular tropes and I tell you the best books to read all over a cup of coffee, or whatever drink is in my hands. Today we have a bubbler. Nice. Good stuff. Okay, each episode means a new trope we're talking about, and this week is fake dating. Also, I'm sorry if my voice sounds like this. I'm sick, but the grind don't stop, you know. This week is fake dating, the classic trope where the main characters find themselves in a situation where the only plausible way out of it is to pretend that they're dating or that they're married in order to get out of a said situation. They agree to end it when they finally resolve the conflict, but because they will never fall in love, they could never be in love, right? Right. This one tends to combine other popular tropes like forced proximity or even second chance romance, plus obviously marriage of convenience is a popular one. I love this trope so much because of the feelings. Like, there's so much built up tension and I don't know, guys. Okay, that and one of them always has a secret crush on the other, and they're like, I could never let them know that I actually like them even though we're pretending to date. Which sounds frustrating, but I just eat it up every single time. I love that. And then also, especially when the main male character's point of view is written and then you see him falling in love with her. Oh my gosh, give me dual POV any single day and I will eat it up. So the fake dating, I love this trope because it allows the characters to skip the whole vulnerability part of building a relationship in other romance books. Most of the time they're I have to put myself out there. I have to be vulnerable and show them my feelings, but fake dating allows them to just kind of skip that whole part and be like, hey, let's fake date. They get thrown into a situation that they don't really understand, and so they just have to they just fall into it rather than having to build up that vulnerability, which sometimes leads to secondhand embarrassment, and I can't deal with that. Anyways, plus you get the relationship things throughout the whole book instead of usually at the end of a romance book. It's you have 2 chapters of them being happy and in love, but this trope allows you to see that throughout the whole entire book. You know, they have to do the relationship things to make other people think that they're in a relationship, obviously because they're fake dating. So they have to do the whole holding hands and kissing in public and the cutie little things that I eat up and love reading about in romance books.
Sip it slow, let the flavors play. Drink of the day, gonna take you away. From coffee to cocktails or herbal tea. Tune in now, let's lose gravity.
We already did the drink of the day. It's my bubbler also. Boom. Today we have Twisted Elixir, Raspberry, Lime, and Citrus. I love how this podcast is called Romance Over Coffee, and I don't think I've ever been drinking coffee when we're recording this podcast, so that's awesome.
Ranking reasons, playing the game on my podcast where nothing stays the same. Heartbeats pounding, it's never too late. Welcome to the world of reasons to fake date.
This is going to be a new segment called Ranking Reasons to Fake Date, which is a really creative segment title that I just came up with off the top of my head right now, and you should be really proud of that. So this segment, we're going to be going through the main plot points or the reasons why each book that I pulled up, why they wanted to fake date, the reason behind it, see how believable it is, and we're going to rank it on a scale of jail, meaning they deserve jail time for that because there's no way that's actually happening. You can do better than that. That would never happen, but whatever. And honestly, OMG, yes. Okay? Does that make sense? Great. I pulled up pretty much every single fake dating book that I read recently in the past 2 years, and I put a sentence explaining the plot, and we're just going to rank them. Okay, great. First book, Practice Makes Perfect by Sarah Adams. Basically, the reason that they end up dating is because fake dating is because she says, I don't know how to date anybody. And he says, oh, girl, let me help you. Jail. Honestly, you could have come up with a little bit better of a reason for that. I still ate that book up, but come on. There's better ways. Next, we have Redeemed by Lauren Asher. They say, we need to show my parents that I'm okay after my Formula One crash made me lose my leg and destroyed all my hopes and dreams. So we need a fake date in order to prove to my parents that I'm okay. Right. I'm not really quite sure how we got there. So, I'm going to give that would never happen, but whatever. Okay, because what do you mean, like, you lost your leg, so you have to fake date somebody? Right? I don't know. Next, we have The Bodyguard by Catherine Senner. This book is so good. But The Bodyguard, he's an actor, and he's getting stalked, but he can't let his sick mom worry about him, so he pretends to date his female So he pretends to date his female bodyguard. Right. This book, like, OMG yes. OMG yes. This is like top tier ranking for me because it was so creative and she's his bodyguard. I love that trope in general, the bodyguard trope. Like, Twisted Games, if y'all know what I'm talking about. Like, I eat that book every time. But yes, OMG yes. Hopeless by Elsie Silver. Starts as a bet to prove she's more than her family's negative reputation in the town, but it gets his family off his back after he comes back from his military mission with, like, super big military trauma, right? No, he never wants to talk about what really went down on his military mission. So they fake date. This would never happen, but whatever. You know, like, I was honestly, this is a book in a series, and I was honestly so excited for this book because it was so hyped up, and it kind of, like, didn't meet the expectations that I had of it. But I still ate it up, but I don't know. I just feel like in order to prove to the town that she's not like her nasty brothers, they're gonna date each other. Like, that never really added up in my head. So I'll let it slide, but whatever. The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa. She finds out that the woman he's about to marry is cheating on him, so she crashes his wedding, and in a moment of panic, he tells his whole family that he's actually in love with her. No, like, jail, honestly. Because what do you mean that she crashed the wedding and then you're like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm dating her, and then, like, we have to pretend like we're dating? I don't know. Meh. Okay, Play Along by Liz Tomford. We accidentally get married, but she'd lose her job and the media would come after him. Also, he has a big fat crush on her. This one's going to be unrealistic, but I'm eating it up because, like, this book specifically, the way she wrote it was just so good, okay? So good. Anyways, okay, Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. This is the second book in the Dreamland Billionaire series. Terms and Conditions by Lauren Asher. I need to marry someone ASAP and have a kid in order to get my inheritance, and Iris says, fine, I'll do it. The female's, like, his assistant, and she's like, fine, I guess I'll marry you and have your kid, but we can, like, get divorced right after, just so you can get your money. Jail. That's literally, like, actually probably illegal. And you know what? The whole concept of this book, jail. But the execution of this book, 4.5 stars, right? Okay. You know what I'm saying. Betting on You by Lynn Painter. We need a date because my mom and her boyfriend are being annoying, even though we made a bet that we can be friends without falling in love with each other, and so we have to fake date. The concept of the book, you can do better. I'm sorry, but once again, the execution of the book, anything Lynn Painter writes, like, I will eat it up every single time. Literally, I'm wearing her sweatshirt right now with better than the movie quotes, because she can never write a bad book, right? Just like the concept, when you explain it what it is, you can do better. The Spanish Love Deception by Elena Armas. She lied about having a boyfriend to bring to her sister's wedding, and the only person offering is her condescending colleague at her job. So she goes on a transatlantic flight with her colleague that she hates, right? Unrealistic, but I'm eating it up. Okay, like, this book was really popular on TikTok, and if you're a reader and you haven't read it, like, what are you doing? Yeah, I don't know, guys, but I ate it up. Sorry, but not really. Boom. Okay, Bride by Ellie Hazelwood. The vampire and alpha wolf have to marry each other for political reasons. Right. Obviously, Bride by Ellie Hazelwood is a fantasy book, and it's her first one. In terms of ranking, you can do better, I think. Like, I don't know, it's so hard because it's fantasy, so you can't really compare it to anything else because they're like, she's like literally a vampire and he's like the alpha wolf, but I don't know. This book was just a little bit odd to me, so you can do better. The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. She accidentally confessed her feelings publicly about the major crush she has on her childhood best friend, an NFL player, and now they have to fake date because of a contract. Call me crazy, but OMG yes. OMG yes. Because I get it. Okay, maybe I'll do unrealistic, but I'm eating it up because the only reason they had to fake date was because she accidentally confessed to the entire media that she had a big fat crush on him in like when she was really drunk. So it's like, but she's a ballerina and he's an NFL player, okay? And they're childhood besties. So it's like the pining is there. So it's like so good, bro. Okay, Love Hypothesis by Allie Hazelwood. Kisses first man she sees to prove to her best friend that she can date the man that she has a big fat crush on, and he goes on with it to prove that he's settling down so he can get funds for like a project that he's working on and grant money. Jail, because like I get the whole like proving to your best friend that she can move, like that you're good on your own, but it's like, so you're really just going to go up to the first man that you see at your job and just like kiss him even if he is like a man of power, and that's just going to work out for you? Like IRL, that's never going to work, honey. But hey, I guess we can't really judge because it is a fiction book. Fix Her Up by Tessa Bailey. No one takes her seriously because she's literally a clown, and he needs a new job after an injury ended his MLB career. So obviously they have to fake date. Jail. I'm not even going to take time talking about this book, sorry. Funny Story by Emily Henry. They let people think they're dating after both their exes left them for each other, and then they ended up having to move in together, if that makes sense. Yes, literally yes. This is such a creative take on the fake dating trope, and it is immediately a yes for me. Like, I love this book so much. The last book that I have on our rankings list is Happy Place by Emily Henry. They broke up, but they have to pretend to still be together around their friends for one last hurrah at a lake house. Yes, immediately yes, because I just love the whole, like, creative take Emily Henry has on the fake dating trope, and this one was just so different from anything else I've read, and I related to the main character so much. This was a yes for me.
It's book recommendation time. Love and tales that'll shine so bright. Grab your coffee, your tea, your wine. It's book recommendation time.
Perfect. Now on to the recommendations, and since I've already gave you the plots of like all of these books, I'm sure you guys can decide for yourself like which ones kind of sound interesting to you, and also take my word with a grain of salt because I'm just whittling it down to its bones of like the bare bones of the plot. So obviously there's more to the stories, but that's like the main gist, I guess. So here's like the ones that I think you should actually read out of all of those. And I only have 2 categories today, young adult and contemporary. So young adult, you have to read Betting on You by Lynn Painter because I'll say this until I'm blue in the face, Lynn Painter can never do anything wrong, right? So definitely read Betting on You. It's just cute. The banter's amazing, always and forever. Next, The Cheat Sheet by Sarah Adams. The dual point of view in this book is just what gets it for me. Like, you get to see his, like, thoughts and opinions on her and, like, all of the cutie little, like, things that he picks up about her, and I just love it so much. So definitely read that one. Anyways, okay, on to contemporary. Number 1 book that you have to read. If you don't take anything else away from this podcast episode, take away the fact that you have to read The Bodyguard by Catherine Center. I love this book. I picked it up on a whim, and I just, like, read it because it was free on Kindle Unlimited, and it was one of the best books that I've ever read. I just love the creative plot and the fact that she's his bodyguard because, like, women in STEM, right? Women in STEM. But, like, it was just so cute. And, like, was also like a little bit enemies to lovers because he did not think that he needed a bodyguard. He was like trying to get off the grid, and like this company was like, no, you need a bodyguard because you have a crazy stalker who's trying to come after you, and you just need somebody to protect you. And so she like protects him while they're like secluded on his family's ranch. So it's kind of like forced proximity because they're just on this ranch together and they have to prove to his family that they're actually dating even though they're not. It kept me going to the very end. Love that book. You also have to read Redeemed by Lauren Asher. That's like the last book in the Dirty Air series, and the Dirty Air series changed my life actually because it's about all these F1 drivers. And if you don't know what F1 is, it's like the racing, but like internationally. I started watching F1 after I read that series, and I'm still watching it. Like, that was probably 2 years ago. I watch every single season. I watched the documentary on Netflix. Well, and let's be honest. Let's be frank here. This is a judgment-free zone. I only watched it at the beginning because, like, they're hot, right? They're hot men who drive race cars. Like Charles Leclerc. Hello. If you don't know who that is, look him up right now. Hello. You'll thank me later. But then I started getting into, like, the drama of it all and, like, just how interesting F1 racing really is and, like, the nitty-gritty details of it all. And so anyways, yeah, thanks Lauren Asher for putting F1 in my life. And the last book, Redeemed, I think is probably my favorite book out of all of them because it's just so interesting. It starts off with him getting in an insane F1 car crash and losing his leg. What? It's really deep. And then, like, him bouncing back from that. And, like, it was just so good. Next, Play Along by Liz Tomford is about the, like, rookie baseball player who has, like, a big fat crush on the trainer, and she's always been taken this whole time. And finally he sees that she's, like, missing an engagement ring. And they go to Vegas for, like, some reason, maybe, like, a game or something. And they end up going out on town, getting really drunk and marrying each other as, like, a silly, goofy thing. And then they wake up in the morning and they're like, oh, shit, we're married. Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do? And it's just, I think I love this because you see the male main character's, like, thoughts and feelings about her. And he has the biggest, fattest crush on her. And he has so much adoration for her. And he respects her so much. And it's just so, so cute to see. And so they have to, like, pretend to be dating or pretend to be married in order for her to keep her job as the trainer. And it's, like, her dream job, right? So, yes. And then, lastly, Happy Place by Emily Henry. This is probably one of my favorite Emily Henry books in general just because I relate to the main character so much. But I just love that it's, like, second chance. It's second chance fake dating, which you never really see. Like, those are two tropes that you never really see combined. So I just love the fact that, like, they broke up, but they have to pretend to be dating in order to prove to their friends that they are still dating so they can have one last hurrah because usually, like, the whole point of it is, like, their big friend group takes a trip to one of the girls' parents' lake house every summer or whatever, and they're selling the lake house. So they want to have, like, one last hurrah with everybody together. And so that's what they do. Yeah, I love it. Love, love, love. Boom. Okay. Next, I wanted to talk... I wanted to talk about movies that fit this trip well because it's romance over coffee, so it's not just books. There's movies that are just like this. I will say, though, a lot of these movies are based off books. So the first one is obviously To All the Boys I've Loved Before, where she's a cutie one. Everybody's seen that one, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it, but yeah, that was based off a series of books, so would recommend. And also The Duff. Guys, I freaking love The Duff. Stands for Designated Ugly Fat Friend, okay? But this is like better than the movies in the fact that he's her next door neighbor and he's, like, trying to make her pretty, quote unquote pretty, and so she can, like, prove to people that she's not the Duff. But he is so cutie. And I just love, like, the classic montages of them in the, like, dressing room, him, like, picking out outfits for her, them, like, figuring out they maybe kind of have feelings for each other, them sharing special places with each other, you're, like, having accidentally deep conversations with each other. I love it so much. Okay. Next, Purple Hearts. Purple Hearts. This is, like, the marriage of convenience and the fact that she's clinically ill and he works in the military and she needs him to pay for her insulin or something. And so she's like, please marry me so I can, like, you know, get this drugs. And he's like, girl, no, that's illegal. Like, that's literally jail time. And she's like, but please. And he's like, okay, fine. And then they probably fall in love. Probably. But I'm not going to spoil it. Go watch the movie. So good. So good. And also, of course, Anyone But You, the most recent rom-com that came out, where they have to pretend to be dating for a wedding, potentially. I don't really remember the plot, but I know that I loved it.
With songs that fit the tropes so well, that make hearts soar and stories swell, from slow burns of passion that just won't quit, we'll find the soundtrack a perfect fit.
Songs that fit this book trope well. I would say Temporary Fix by One Direction and I Think He Knows by Taylor Swift. Main two ones. And then let's see what else we have. Come Through by Jeremy Zucker. Yes, absolutely. End of the Day by One Direction. Low key, like, yes. Anyways, this has been my very chaotic, very, I don't know, kind of semi-not put together podcast episode about fake dating. I hope you enjoyed, and happy reading.